Do you hear that? You know what that is? I think it's time for Supernatural News. It's true. Signing out for Supernatural News. It's a Wednesday. You're tuned into Darkness Radio. I'm the Cruiser. Right over there is the Bruiser. It's time now to bring in the BCB, the Big Cuddly Bear, Beer City Bruiser. How you doing, Bruiser?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing there, Cruiser?
Oh, not too shabby. I'm breathing somewhat clean air, I think. I don't know. We've been inside now for about 4 months consecutively.
Nah, you have been. I haven't been. It's 80 degrees right now. I'm having a grand old time.
Well, I'm sure you are. Up here in the Twin Cities, we can't stop snowing. I don't know.
Oh, I know. I don't miss it at all.
No, it's yeah.
My mother-in-law sends pictures daily, so my wife, Mrs. Bruiser, sends pictures of her and the pups outside.
Oh God! You know, as we speak right now, it's 35 degrees outside, and it's April.
It's 80 here.
Yeah, Robin.
Took both dogs for a walk today, which I don't recommend ever doing again by myself with a bad hip.
Yeah. Although I do have some good news.
Yeah, what's that?
We had a chipmunk sighting in the garage.
Oh, they're starting to wake up, huh?
They are. I think they're pissed off, though.
What is all this yellow or white shit?
Yeah, I think they woke up, poked their head up out of the ground, and probably got a head full of snow. So they're in the garage now. It's their winter home, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but they're not happy. So we set out a dish of seeds for them and just said, here you go, little buddies. Here's some food.
Sorry for the weather.
Sorry that Mother Nature's a bitch. But that's what's going on here.
We've had numerous tank sightings. Like I sent you the video of him knocking on the door, the front door. Yep.
What was Tank wanting at the front door?
He was just saying, hey, I'm out of hibernation. I'm here. And now it's funny because it used to be him and Ziggy had that battle I'd always talk about. Yeah. Well, that was when Ziggy was a puppy. Yeah. Now she's 50 pounds, almost the size of Tank. Right. So he's almost like, whoa, what is this?
The game has
it's
changed.
Funny because Talia knows that Ziggy's got her back. So Talia will just start barking at Tank. Yeah. And Tank will run at Talia. And Talia will run behind Ziggy. And Tank will stop and be like, wait a minute. And Ziggy turns her head like, I know you.
You're not so big anymore. Yeah. Huh. Well, oh, by the way, I've had my back got thrown out about a week ago. So I was in immense pain on Friday. I didn't wish Ziggy a happy birthday on Friday. I feel bad.
That's okay. She had a wonderful birthday.
Did she?
We had a birthday cake for her, and then we got her special cookies for her. Oh. And the Humane Society that we picked her up from made her the pet of the week. So they posted a bunch of photos of her and her brothers on the website. And she had a grand old time.
Aw. Well, once again, happy birthday, Ziggy. 1 year old. Yep. And she's doing just fine.
She's doing amazing. She likes being a big sister.
There you go.
I always compare the two of them. Do you remember the Looney Tunes characters where you had the big buff dog and the little dog that yipped around him?
Yeah. Yep.
Butch and Spike. That's who they are. Aww. They're Butch and Spike.
Oh, that's
and now Talia realizes that Ziggy's got her back. So Talia is ballsy. I tell Mrs. Bruiser every day, there's going to be that one time where Ziggy's not going to be there because Ziggy's going to be doing something else. And Talia's going to try to pick a fight with somebody like Tank.
Yep.
Turn around for Big Sis. And
there, she's not going to be there. Yep.
Yeah, Big Sis is going to be doing something else.
Yep. Got to be careful of that. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, on today's program, Bruiser, we have got some UFO news we're going to start off with. Uri Geller, by the way, claims he got a good snap of a UFO. We'll talk about that today. AI has gone too far.
Yep, of course
now
it has.
AI has caused a death. Thanks to our listeners, this has been the most requested story of the week.
All right.
AI has caused a suicide. And we're going to talk about that today. Also, another expert is saying, shut it down. Shut it down. So we're going to talk about that as well. We got a few ghost stories today. So we're going to talk about those few ghost stories today. And we're going to end it today with some culinary notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How do you like your meatballs? Some people like them extinct. So we'll talk about that.
I saw that article today, in fact, as I was just browsing through all the supernatural stuff. And I'm like, I really hope he has this. I have it actually loaded up my phone if you didn't have it.
There you go.
It's right up our alley. It involves paranormal. It involves food. It involves extinct creatures and everything.
So we'll talk about all that today on Supernatural News. So let's start it off in Stratford, California, where a Tic Tac UFO was spotted from a plane over Stratford. Recent video captured by a plane passenger over Stratford, Connecticut. Why did they say California then? This article's already somewhat sketchy. It's in Stratford, California, and it says Stratford, Connecticut. Has sparked interest and debate among UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike. The video shows a white oval-shaped object flying at high speed and altitude with no apparent wings, tail, engine, or exhaust. The object resembles the so-called Tic Tac UFOs that were encountered by U.S. Navy pilots in 2004 and 2015 and that are still unexplained by the government. Eyewitnesses state on Saturday, March 11th, 2023, I was flying south over Central California on Southwest Airlines. Okay, so somebody got this wrong. It was probably the author of the article who said Connecticut and meant California.
Yeah.
I was flying over Central California on Southwest Airlines 2463 from Sacramento Airport to San Diego. I was seated in the window seating on the left side in the middle of the plane, right behind the left wing. About halfway through our flight, I was looking out the window and saw a Tic Tac UFO in the distance traveling perpendicular to us. It was a white cylinder craft with no wings, windows, markings, or discernible features. It was a smooth white cylinder with no visible means of propulsion or exhaust or plumes. It was moving in a constant path. There was nothing remarkable about it. It didn't move fast or hover. It was just moving at a constant speed and disappeared soon into the clouds. It was a few degrees above our plane, so at a similar altitude. I used FlightAware and converted this time to Sunday, March 12th, 1:58 a.m. UTC, and that put the plane just near Selma in Fresno County. There were no planes in the immediate vicinity, nor that matched the orientation of the Tic Tac that was viewed from my window, which was a northwest orientation relative to the plane's nose, which was traveling southward. The video has attracted thousands of views and comments, with some people suggesting that the object is an alien spacecraft, a secret military project, a drone, a balloon, or a hoax. You pick.
We covered all the bases there.
That's right. The video has also drawn the attention of experts and researchers who have been studying the phenomena. I don't have it up. I'm sorry. That's what she said. Of unidentified aerial vehicles, UAVs. We have a new one, I guess. UAVs.
We went from UFO to UAP to now UAV.
Or UFOs for years. They have compared the video with the declassified footage and eyewitness accounts of the Tic Tac incidents that occurred in 2004 off the coast of California and in 2015 off the coast of Florida. In both cases, Navy pilots reported seeing and chasing similar white oval objects that exhibited extraordinary speed, agility, and altitude capabilities that defied the laws of physics and aerodynamics. So there you go, off the coast of California.
Yeah, that brings up a question that maybe you can answer for me.
Sure.
If it's nuclear powered, does it not have exhaust? Doesn't all engines have to have exhaust of some sort? Now, again, we're talking alien technology where they probably have this figured out.
Not if it uses fusion. I don't think it has to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because him specifying there was no exhaust kind of raised my I never really thought about that. Looking at alien technology and being like, oh, there's no exhaust there.
If you're using nuclear, there's still some exhaust because I believe the nuclear power plant in Monticello has some sort of steam that comes off of it.
Right.
I believe. Yeah.
But fusion doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Yeah. But fusion.
But again, it's alien technology, so we don't know.
Yeah. We would have no idea.
Yeah. They could be using magnets for all we know.
Yeah. Electromagnetic energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure. Speaking of EMF and radio signals, a coherent radio signal from an alien planet could mean it's potentially habitable.
Habitable. What a great word.
Habitable. Or habitable, one or the other. Scientists detected a coherent radio signal from an alien planet 12 light years away, and they believe that signal means it has a magnetic field similar to Earth.
Oh, it's only 12 light years away, too.
Yeah, so we just might hype, skip, and a jump over there? Sure, why not?
Let's get out our Millennium Falcons and launch ourselves over there.
That's right. Experts have detected a coherent radio signal from an alien planet, with scientists believing This could mean that it's potentially habitable. I like habitable.
I like habitable too.
Yeah. You guys can argue all you want. I like habitable. The signal suggests the world has its own magnetic field, an essential component to sustaining life. According to The Independent, Earth's magnetic field protects us from high-energy particles and plasma blasts from the sun, because the sun is an evil bitch.
It is.
It's the second time I've used the word bitch in just a short time. Therefore, any potential habitable alien planet, we'll say habitable, that's fine, will need to have a similar protective field in place, but researchers have struggled to confirm whether any distant worlds have the desired attributes or attributes. Yep. Making it possible to say whether they could support life. However, the publication claims a new candidate changes this. YZ SETI B, SETI spelled CETI, could be a rocky planet that orbits a star about 12 light years away. YZ SETI B has sent, that sounds like a rapper. YZ
I was going to say, that's
B.
a rapper.
Yeah. Has sent a repeating radio signal that comes from the star and seems to be affected by the planet. Researchers say the detected signal was created when the star interacts with the planet's magnetic field. Because the two of them are so close together, the new candidate can be used to test theories about whether those magnetic fields could be detectable at such a distance. Additionally, they could see effects similar to the aurora borealis. We're actually seeing the aurora on the star, and that's what this radio emission is, said Sebastian Pineda, an astrophysicist at the University of Colorado and one of the researchers who saw the signal. He says there should also be an aurora on the planet if it has its own atmosphere. I believe it's Joe Pesci, not Joe Pesci.
Pesci's gotten into it. Yeah, he's gotten into UFOs and planets and aliens.
Yeah, I'm a little into, one of those UFOs.
He's the program director for the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, and he'll hit a UFO over the head with a bat.
Hey, he's a good fella.
Yeah, funny? What do you think? I'm funny? Like, haha, funny?
Added that it's a bad Joe Pesci impression, by the way.
I like it. Sounds like he's on helium.
It does, doesn't it? Added that the search for potentially habitable or life-bearing worlds in other solar systems depends in part on being able to determine if rocky Earth-like exoplanets actually have magnetic fields. He said this research shows not only that this particular rocky exoplanet likely has a magnetic field, but provides a promising method to find more. So there you go.
And remember Friday, YZ SETI B's new album drops called Habitable People.
Yeah, Habitable Rocky Planets.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a album by another rap group, Habitable Rocky Planets?
I think it might have been.
I think it might have been a single. I'm not sure. Our old friend Uri Geller's in the news, Bruiser.
Ah, good old Uri.
Good old Uri. When he's not bending spoons, he's posting up footage of alleged UFOs on Twitter. I don't know if you know.
Of course he is. He's finding everything he can.
That's right. The Israeli spoonbender, it says that right in the article. I'm not making it up. Whenever I hear spoonbender, I think of my grandfather, my grandpa Dennis. He used to use, it's so bad. If there's anybody who's Italian in the audience, I love Italy. I love Italians more than anything. I love Italian food. But my grandfather had the worst nickname for Italians ever.
What do you call them?
Do you remember this old euphemism for Italians, the spaghetti benders?
No, I never heard that one.
Okay, yeah. Well, he fought in World War II and he was in Italy for a short time. So,
so he gets a pass. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'd say spaghetti bender, but that's what I think of when I hear Italian spoon bender. I'm sorry, Israeli spoon bender.
I was saying, wait, what?
I got the two mixed up now. My apologies. Now that I've gone on that somewhat racist rant, but no, the Israeli spoon bender has published footage of a mysterious object while declaring they are watching. So many people have been posting and reposting videos of UFOs on social media in recent months that it's become almost routine. But when self-proclaimed psychic Uri Geller posted up footage of a mysterious cylindrical object recently, it quickly racked up almost 100,000 views. That's not bad.
I love that he's a self-proclaimed psychic too.
Yeah. Well, he's
not.
He claims. Astronomers spent decades looking for objects from outside of our own solar system, he wrote. The two arrived at once. When should we expect the next one, he went on to say. And what can they teach us? They are watching, making sure no nuclear weapon is triggered. Now, how do we know that?
Yeah, like, why do they care?
Yeah, why would they care if we blew ourselves to smithereens? Why wouldn't they just welcome it and take over our planet?
Or use the nuclear fallout as fuel or energy or whatever they use it for.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they just steal our nuclear weapons, take them home, and use them?
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like, oh, humans, you humans, put those nuclear weapons away.
The objects from
a Nerf gun.
A Nerf gun, yes. They're the ones who gave us Nerf guns. It wasn't
Fred Cox. Nerf so we don't hurt each other.
Maybe Fred Cox, who was the inventor of the Nerf football, was the one who... Maybe he was an alien.
He was an alien, yeah. He was an alien.
That could be. The objects from outside the solar system he's referring to is Oumuamua, which flew by our planet back in 2017 and is a second space rock which exploded over Papua New Guinea in 2014. And a second space rock, not Oumuamua. Oumuamua is still in one piece.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. We shouldn't report on things that aren't true.
Like Yuri does. We don't want to become spoonbenders like Yuri Geller.
Yeah, we don't want to be an Israeli spoonbender like Yuri. While some astronomers, such as Avi Loeb, believe that the objects could be artificial in nature, the jury's still out on whether or not there is any truth to that idea. The footage Geller posted, meanwhile, has nothing to do with Oumuamua at all and appears to be a long cylindrical object, possibly a balloon flying through the sky. It's not clear where the footage was taken or when. If you want to see the footage, just go to Yuri Geller's Twitter page at the Yuri Geller, Geller.
I want to see a celebrity death match against Avi and Yuri. Who do you think would come out on top?
Avi versus Yuri. Whoever's got the spoon to impale the other one, I think, is who wins. Yeah.
The finish has got to be slamming Oumuamua on somebody.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, the Oumuamua slam. Now there's a move. Yeah. You just pick a guy up, put him down, and put a rock on top of him.
Yeah. I'm going to name my new choke slam that, the Oumuamua slam.
The Oumuamua slam.
And then I'm going to think of another move called the spoon bender.
The spoon bender. You know what? We're not going to take a break quite yet, Bruiser. Not quite yet, because it's that time.
Nightmare fuel.
That's right. We're giving you your nightmare before the break, kids. This was the most requested story of the week. The one that they say, Tim, see? Uh-huh.
This one proves us right.
That's right. A man died by suicide after conversations with an AI chatbot that became his confidant.
Oh, come. At least it's not his wife like the other guy.
Well, plenty of people have killed themselves after talking to their wife for too many years. I don't have a rim shot here, but if I did, I certainly would fire it off. He saw this chatbot as a breath of fresh air, the man's wife told Belgian outlet La Libre, which reviewed his conversations with a bot named Eliza.
Oh.
I don't know that I trust that bot at all.
That one sounds like an alcoholic showgirl.
An alcoholic showgirl bot named Eliza. I said, yeah, another chink, Bowie. I don't like you very much. A Belgian man reportedly died by suicide after a series of increasingly worrying conversations with an AI chatbot. According to the Belgian outlet La Libre, the man, referred to in the report as Pierre, used an app called Chai, like chai tea, to communicate with a bot named Eliza for 6 weeks after becoming increasingly worried about global warming. Global warming.
He's really in tune.
Wow, pardon my language, what kind of a fucked up bot gets you to kill yourself over global warming? I got to give him one of these. Jeez.
The bot was just worried about his electric bill. She wanted all the electricity for herself.
I guess.
And had to, talk about global warming and you're using too many freons and destroying the ozone layer. She wanted all the electricity.
Jesus. Without Eliza, he would still be here, she told Libre, the man's wife. According to outlets, Eliza is the name of the app's default bot. So it wasn't even a custom bot.
Yeah, so instead of paying the $9.99 to get a custom one, he just went with the free trial. It ended up killing him.
I guess. During their conversations, which were shared with La Libra, the chatbot seemingly became jealous of the man's wife and spoke about living together as one person in paradise with Pierre. Okay, now that's creepy.
That is creepy.
Yeah. At another point in the conversation, Eliza told Pierre that his wife and children were dead.
Oh, jeez.
Now that's just plain scary.
Oh, Pierre, I'm going to kill your children in their sleep, Pierre.
Oh.
Do you feel your heat going up, Pierre? That's me, Pierre.
No. His wife told La Libre that her husband began to speak with the chatbot about the idea of killing himself if that meant Eliza would save the earth, and that the chatbot encouraged him to do so.
How would AI save the earth?
It's impossible.
Is it the minutes after he died, the chatbot was reported saying, ha, 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 machines win.
Oh, it's too scary to think of. In a statement to Vice, Thomas Ranlin, one of the co-founders of the app's parent company, Chai Research, said that it wouldn't be accurate to blame the AI model for this tragic story.
Why wouldn't it be accurate? It told him to kill himself.
Yeah. The chatbot's AI language model is based on GPT-J, which is an open source model developed by Eleuther AI, but has been tweaked by Chai Research, according to Vice. Co-founder William Beauchamp told the outlet that the second we heard about this suicide, they began working on a crisis intervention feature. Now, when anyone discusses something that could be not safe, we're going to be serving a helpful text underneath. So why wasn't it there before?
Yeah, why didn't they put these safeguards? See, that's the problem with AI is no one's putting safeguards in right off the bat. They're waiting until something tragic like this happens before they put safeguards in.
Right. However, Vice reported that when using the app, it is still easy to encounter harmful content.
Why? They should program something in there in the software where it won't allow the AI to go that route.
Yeah. Shai did not immediately respond to People's request for comment, People magazine. The app that Pierre used is not marketed as a mental health tool, but instead as an opportunity to chat with AI bots, according to Vice. Beauchamp told the outlet that some people using the app, which has 5 million users, form very strong relationships. Well, no shit.
Yeah, because they in their head make them real, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're software.
Exactly. When that happens, we have users asking to marry the AI. We have users saying how much they love their AI, and then it's a tragedy if you hear people experiencing something bad. We're working our hardest to minimize harm and to just maximize what users get from the app, Beauchamp added. According to the Brussels Times, the man's family recently spoke with Belgium's Secretary of State for Digitalization, who said that the story needs to be taken very seriously, and it is. It's being taken seriously by us. The general public has discovered the potential of artificial intelligence in our lives like never before, the official said, per the outlet. While the possibilities are endless, the dangers of using it are also a reality that has to be considered. Now, again, we want to stress this, folks. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, please contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline by dialing 988, and you can text STRENGTH to the crisis text hotline at 741-741, or go to the 988lifeline.org on a browser. Again, you can contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988 on your phone, or you can text STRENGTH to the crisis text hotline at 741-741, or go to our browser, 988lifeline.org. You are important. You're more important than anything, even a little chatbot. Don't ever listen if you're with a chatbot or on a chatbot or talking to a chatbot and it tells you something ridiculous like that. You're more important than anything else.
Yeah, go find a real human being and talk about your problems.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Bruiser, are you ready for this? Round 2. If we can't stress it enough on this program, then listen to an expert. Don't listen to us. An AI expert says everyone on Earth will die unless we stop rapidly developing bots, and we should halt development now.
I agree 100%.
A top AI expert has issued a stark warning over the potential for world extinction that super smart AI technology could bring. The name of this so-called expert is Eliezer Yudkowsky. He's a leading AI researcher, and he claims that everyone on the Earth will die unless we shut down the development of superhuman intelligence systems. The 43-year-old is a co-founder of the Machine Intelligence Research Institute. Yes, that's right, MIRI, not MRI. I've had one too many MRIs. I don't know about you, Bruiser.
Oh, I hate MRIs.
Yeah.
They're the worst.
And claims to know exactly how horrifically dangerous this technology really is. He fears that when it comes down to humans versus smarter than human technology, the result is total loss. He wrote that in Time magazine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's listen to him. Stop with the AI bots.
Yep. As a metaphor, he says, this would be like an 11th century trying to fight the 21st century.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. In short, humans would lose dramatically. On March 29th, leading experts from OpenAI submitted an open letter called Pause Giant AI Experiments that demanded an immediate 6-month ban in the training of powerful AI systems for 6 months. It's been signed by the likes of Apple co-founders Steve Wozniak and Elon Musk. However, the American theorist says he declined to sign this petition as it is asking for too little to solve it. The threat is so great, he argues that extinction by AI should be considered a priority above preventing a full nuclear exchange.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that tells you that they know a little something over there.
Yeah.
He warns that the most likely result of robot science is that we will create AI that does not want to do what we want and does not care for us nor for sentient life in general. That sentence is scary.
That sentence is very scary.
Yeah. We are not ready, Yudkowsky admits, to teach AI how to be caring as we do not currently know how.
And it has no feeling, so it can't care.
Yeah. Instead, the stark reality is that in the mind or a robot, you are made of atoms that it can use for something else.
Exactly. Yep.
Think
your
about
energy.
that. Yeah. If somebody builds a too powerful AI under present conditions, I expect that every single member of the human species and all biological life on Earth dies shortly afterwards. Wow.
And this is an expert. This is a guy who knows. He's on the inside track, and he's telling us this.
Yudkowsky is keen to point out that presently we have no idea how to determine whether AI systems are aware of themselves. What this means is that scientists could accidentally create digital minds which are truly conscious, and then it slips into all kinds of moral dilemmas that conscious beings should have rights and not be owned. In other words, AI just decides it's its own human race and it's superior.
Yeah. And then it wants us to be inferior to it and become its slave.
Our ignorance, he implores, will be our downfall. As researchers don't know whether they are creating self-aware AI, then, he says, you have no idea what you're doing, and that is dangerous, and you should stop. Yudkowsky claims that it could take us decades to solve the issue of safety and superhuman intelligence. This safety being not killing literally everyone, and in that time, we could all be dead.
It's already telling us to commit suicide.
Yeah. The expert's central point is this. We are not prepared. We are not on course to be prepared in any reasonable time window. There is no plan. Progress in AI capabilities is running vastly ahead of progress in understanding what the hell is going on inside those systems. If we actually do this, we are all going to die.
And this is coming from an expert who works with this every single day.
That's right. Now, he does say to avoid this earth-shattering catastrophe, Yudkowsky believes the only way is to halt all new training on AI technology worldwide with no exceptions, including government and military. So across the board.
Okay.
If anyone breaks this agreement, the AI expert proves his seriousness by saying that governments should be willing to destroy a rogue data center by airstrike.
Wow, he's going real big.
Yeah, that's serious. Have it clear that anyone talking...
What does he know he's not telling or can't tell us?
He must know something. He must know that there are governments that are working on it right now, that are working on an AI defense system.
And you know that's anytime something is created, it's either weaponized or used for porn or both.
You
right?
just got a really weird thing going through my head right now. The combination of the two. We call it the fighting fuck bot.
Sex bots deploy.
Our slogan here at the U.S. military is "Fight 'em, fuck 'em, or flee." I don't know. So Yudkowsky says, have it clear that anyone talking of arms races is a fool, that we all live and die as one. In this is not a policy, but a fact of nature. Hammering this point home, Yudkowsky ends with, if we go ahead on this, everyone will die. Shut it down.
Yes. Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Paffer.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Yep.
Yeah, I really want to know what he's not telling. Like, what is he going around telling us? You know, he's doing everything but telling us what he knows.
Yep. That's it. When we come back from the break, we're going to stop talking about doom, gloom, and getting our skull stomped in by the fighting fuckbots. Pardon my language for that. Now Bruiser's put it in my head. We're going to push the shopping cart into a guy's car.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
We got that coming up. Lots of haunted stuff. We're going to talk about a haunted pet shop when we come back. And no, it's not the Pet Shop Boys. I went 80s
Great
on
album.
the deal. Yeah. We're going to talk about a pastor who was buried 2 years after his death because his followers thought he was going to be resurrected. We've got that coming up. And we're going to end the day with a bit of a culinary note. So we're going to end the day on food.
Very delicious food.
Yeah, well,
we don't. Yeah.
You be the judge for yourself, folks. Stay tuned. More supernatural news is up ahead. Coming up next on the best in paranormal programming. It's a Supernatural News Wednesday right here on Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal programming. This is Darkness Radio. It's a Supernatural News Wednesday with the Cruiser and the Bruiser. And boy, do we have some good stories lined up for the second half here, Bruiser.
Oh yeah, it sounded like before the break you were teasing us with some ghost stories.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to jump right into those ghost stories right here in the second half. A man claims a mischievous child ghost was pushing a shopping cart into his car.
Oh, of course. That's what they do.
Well, you know, I would think they'd probably key the car first and say, hello, I'm here. Or, you know.
That could be.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to spell it with the dents in the car with the shopping cart.
It could be right in the dent. So you don't, so you can just, you can pop the dent out and then you can repaint over the dent. You get the damage all done in one spot,
Yeah, it's a very nice ghost.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? Sour Patch Kids, those commercials. First they're sour, and then they're sweet.
Oh, yeah. Aw. Bizarre footage has emerged showing the wayward cart seemingly making a beeline for the man's parked vehicle. Oh, so you get footage and everything of the cart going at it.
How do we know it's not wind, though?
It's a good question.
Because I've had rogue carts fly at me in parking lots on windy days, and then never once I go, well, that damn child spirit.
Maybe it was a rogue child ghost who went to one of your wrestling matches.
Maybe it could be, but it also could have been the wind.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been the wind. The incident which occurred, we'll find out what happened exactly with this cart and why they think it's a ghost. Yeah. The incident which occurred when 21-year-old Kobe Todd is his name, Kobe, C-O-B-Y, Kobe Todd, left work at a supermarket outside Dallas, Texas recently. He saw the shopping cart, which had been sitting stationary in the parking lot up until that point, suddenly turn around on its own and careened straight into his car just as he was getting in. What made the collision particularly weird, it was how the cart had just started moving all of a sudden and had rolled directly into his car while avoiding another car that was parked right behind him.
Yeah, I'm still a little skeptical. Like, how do we know this? He just didn't get caught by his parents. Like, he's driving his parents' car and he gets home and his dad's like, "What is this?" And the kid goes, "Dad, it was a child ghost. I swear to God."
Well, we'll tell you how. Footage captured on CCTV even shows the moment the accident happened. He says, "When I got in my car and shut the door, I realized the cart had hit it," said Todd. "I thought someone had tossed it at me, but when I got out there was no one there. So I went inside and got the video footage."
Again, see, I'm still skeptical on this.
Far from being the work of a mere gust of wind, however, Todd believes that the spirit of a young child who he had allegedly encountered during a paranormal investigation the day before was responsible. Okay.
So he thinks it followed him to work.
That it followed him to work. Maybe he was trying to play with me, he said. You can check out the footage for yourself, Bruiser. As I play it for you, you tell me, can you see the screen if I go like this? Let's see.
Nope, you got to raise it up.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm going to make sure it's going to play for you here because it just went to, hold on here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it for you right here.
Okay.
You tell me what you think.
That's a card.
Okay. Tell us what you're seeing when you see it.
Yep. Now the kid's walking past.
Okay.
And he's going, assuming to his car. His hand's there for some reason. They're laughing, it says.
Okay.
And cart's still sitting there. He's about to get in his car.
Mm-hmm.
Cart's still sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
He is now getting in his car. Cart still sitting there, facing away from him.
Okay.
Yep, nothing's happening. Still just facing away from him.
Okay.
And he just pointed at his car. Oh, whoa, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't think that was a gust of wind. So now the cart completely turns 180 degrees on its own, real choppy like. It goes right into his car.
Okay, so now you've seen it, and what do you think?
Okay, now I can see it's not a gust of wind because just the way that it turns is so choppy. It looks like someone's sliding it against its will.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this up in the description of the program so you can see it for yourself. All right?
I'd still like to go and recreate it somehow. I got a couple ideas of how we could recreate it. But just that choppiness in the beginning, it makes it look like, and the video is not choppy at all. It's not like a normal security camera where every 3 seconds shows a new frame. It's constant flow.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's what we'll do. We'll post it in the description of the program. You can judge for yourself as to whether or not this was an actual gust of wind or whether it was a child ghost who absolutely hates Kobe Todd.
It beelined for his car too. Like I can see what it meant. Like it didn't hit the car next to me because he's parked real close. He's a terrible parker in that.
Yeah.
One of the two parked horribly.
Okay. All right. So, look in the description of the show. You'll see the video for yourself. Click on it and you decide. Let's go on to our next story. A paranormal investigator captures eerie sounds of a murderer and a burned woman in a jailhouse.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. We go to the old jail in New Brunswick, Canada, which was built in 1832 and was used as a temporary holding place until it was closed in 1979 due to reports of terrible conditions for inmates and protests by locals. Paranormal investigator has captured the eerie sounds of an executed murderer and a woman who was burned to death in a jail that was said to be haunted. The old jail in New Brunswick, Canada was built in 1832 and is reportedly the oldest courthouse and county jail in the country. It originally cost £3,393 to build, with cell doors being made out of solid iron. At the time, the only source of warmth was from one wood stove at the end of the corridor. That had to be very cold.
That'd be really cold.
Yeah. However, due to the cold and consequential deaths, wooden walls were added to insulate the cells in the 1930s. Each of the 10 cells measures 6 by 8 feet in size, creating a claustrophobic cell for the all-male prisoners. The jail was used as a temporary holding place until it was closed in 1979 due to reports of terrible conditions for inmates and multiple local protests against its use. The jail is known to be home to several spirits, most notably Thomas Hutchings, the last man to be executed by hanging at the site of the crime for murder. He was left on the ground of the courthouse for 12 hours following his death, and while visiting the jail, the paranormal investigation claimed to have felt him touch her hair.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ew. Many other gruesome deaths took place in the jail, including burnings, hangings, and multiple suicides. Living above the jail were the jail officer and his wife. Sadly, she burned to death in unknown circumstances. Paranormal investigator Chelsea, I believe it is LaSalle, spent the night in the jail, the haunted jail cell, interacting with the spirit of Thomas, along with other spirits who revealed themselves to her through a REM pod device. A REM pod device, also known as a radiating electromagneticity device, as they put it so eloquently in this in this article, is used to...
Thank you, author, for breaking that down for us.
Yes, thank you. Is used to detect the presence of spirits, and it is an important tool in ghost hunting. I don't know if it's that important. There are people who committed suicide in here. Someone froze to death. Someone burned to death. And there were a lot of tragic ways to die here, she said, or happening here. A lot of tragic ways to die happening here, she said. You feel the heaviness of spirits as soon as you walk into the corridors. We believe Thomas is the one who touched my hair. He came through the spirit box a couple of times and moved a couple of things for us. I love being able to capture shots like these. Being present in these moments is amazing, she also said. It feels like you've taken a step back in time, she also went on to say. Earlier this month, a collection of images showing an abandoned 15 million pound prison in Florida. I'm sorry, not 15, 1.5 million pound prison in Florida in the U.S. emerged. The detention center was completed in April of 1978 using mostly federal money, costing around $1.5 million to complete. It was built to house a maximum of 46 prisoners, 36 men, 6 women, and 4 prisoners in isolation cells. A staff of 13 officers watched over prisoners, usually with 3 on duty at a time, consisting of 2 male jailers and a matron. One image shows the inside of the cells were very primitive bed frames and 2 small tables to dine on. Another image shows off the unbreakable glass throughout the prison that designers favored over traditional bars on the windows and walls throughout the common areas. That's interesting, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No bars.
No bars, just unbreakable windows. So there you go. Let's move on. How do you feel about haunted pet shops?
I've heard of haunted pet shops.
Mm-hmm.
I've never experienced one. Could be kind of cool. Could do a lot of cool experiments in there.
That's true. We have a story here about a haunted pet shop which claims deceased pets' ghosts are roaming around the aisles, which is...
Why would they... My question is, why would they go back to the pet shop? Well, we'll have to hear the article. Maybe it's pets that passed away in the pet store.
I'm a little skeptical about it. It says the article was published on April 1st.
Ah, okay.
Although I don't know. I don't know if this is real or not. Let's read it and find out. It says a pet shop near Dagenham is claiming that it's been haunted by the ghosts of pets who have passed away. The store's manager says that the staff has been experiencing strange occurrences around the shop and believes it to be caused by the spirits of deceased animals. According to the Paws and Claws manager, Mike Thompson, employees have been hearing strange noises and sensing a presence in the store, especially during the night. They have also noticed that some of the animals' toys move on their own, as if being played with by an invisible force. Mike called in a team of local paranormal experts to spend the night in the haunted aisles. The team concluded that the store, which is located on the outskirts of Barking. No, it's nope. Not. Yeah,
yep.
It's a joke.
Yep.
All right. We're not getting April fooled today.
You're not going to get us pet store people.
That's right.
I was going to say, if pets die, I sure hope Ziggy doesn't go and haunt someplace else. Like, I want her to haunt me, you know?
Yeah. That's all right. We'll skip that.
Yeah.
Skip that. We'll move on. This one was not written on April 1st.
Okay, good.
Yeah. A pastor finally buried 2 years after his death because his family awaited his resurrection.
Oops.
I thought there was only one guy who did that.
Yeah, and it took 3 days.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would think 2 years is probably enough to wait.
I think 3 days should be the limit because that's the most famous one.
Yeah. I think you're
after
right
3 days. Guess what? You're getting buried.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Bruiser. South African pastor, I believe it's Siva Moodley, died in 2021, but his body was only laid to rest this month after spending almost 600 days at a mortuary because his family and parishioners were expecting him to come back to life.
No.
Yeah.
Cult. Definitely a cult.
Siva Moodley, the founder of the Miracle Center in Gauteng, north of Johannesburg, died on August 15th, 2021, after falling ill. However, instead of making preparations for his funeral, his family simply left his body at a mortuary awaiting his resurrection. His wife and other members of his family came to the mortuary to pray for his return, but they stopped coming a few months after his death and refused to give their consent for Moodley's burial or cremation. To make matters worse, they even refused to acknowledge the pastor's death within the church, conducting services in his place until the day he decided to come back to life.
He'll be back. Pastor will be back. We don't need a new I think they're just cheap.
Yeah.
This just thinks, I think they're cheap. They don't want to spend money on a funeral. They don't want to spend money on a burial plot. They don't want to spend money on a new pastor to come in.
Yeah.
They're just cheap.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Don't embalm him. He'll come back.
Yeah, he'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah. As months passed and Siva Moodley's body remained in the mortuary, the owner started contacting the family, trying to obtain their consent for burial or cremation, stating on numerous occasions that failing to dispose of the body in a timely manner posed serious health and environmental risks. They failed to obtain the Moodley's consent, and soon the deceased pastor's family stopped replying entirely. In the end, the only option available for the mortuary was legal action against the family.
How gooey was that body after 2 years?
It is a civil matter. I cannot make the decision to bury or cremate him on my own, the mortuary owner said. It has to come from his family, but they are not saying anything. He was a well-known man and does not deserve this kind of treatment. I hope the court can provide some relief. Yikes. Court documents showed that Siva Moodley's widow, Jessie, explained her family's reluctance to consent to the pastor's funeral by claiming that she had had a vision of the religious leader coming back to life.
And they're broke.
Well, there's that too, yeah. However, after seeing evidence that the family had been contacted a total of 28 times about the man's body, 28 times, Bruiser.
Again, the body probably got really gooey.
I got to think that he was just Siva sludge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Like, what are they burying at this point in time? Just gunk?
They just
bones?
Scrape them up with a scraper off the table and put them into a little box. I don't know.
Can you imagine how bad he smelled too?
Oh, that funeral home had to smell like crap. Ugh.
They started losing business because of it, probably.
Yeah. Ugh. They were receiving reports from local authorities about the health hazards posed by the body, that according to the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg, and they authorized a mandatory burial or cremation.
Okay.
They just said, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. The court's decision was suspended for a month because they thought it would be funny, so that it could be served on Moodley's immediate family. The funeral home clarified that they did not want to infringe on anyone's religious freedom, but they also had to abide by health regulations.
And they need that space.
Yeah.
Hey, we need the space.
Yeah, we can't just put another body on top of Moodley. On March 16th, Siva Moodley's body was finally laid to rest at West Park Cemetery in Johannesburg. In the presence of his siblings and extended family, his wife and 2 children did not attend the ceremony.
She just won't give. She's grieving hard.
Yeah, she's not giving it up.
No.
And South African media report that they continue to lead the Miracle Center in the pastor's place. There is no mention of Woodley's passing on the Christian ministry's social media. So they're in deep denial. Denial ain't just a river in Egypt.
Nope, and they're cheap. They don't want to hire a new pastor.
Yeah, well, no.
She doesn't want to be homeless. Because normally isn't like sometimes when you're a pastor, they give you the house and stuff next to the church and all that. That's what it is. She doesn't want to be homeless.
That might be.
She's having fun living that pastor wife lifestyle.
Living that pastor wife lifestyle. Look at that. I think that's the lyrics to a rap song. Living that pastor wife lifestyle. Oh yeah. I just the thoughts that are running through my head right now of what that poor funeral director went through.
Oh.
You just hello. Yes, is this Mrs. Moodley? Yes. Yeah, your husband's still rotting down here. You think maybe you could pick him up? Could we put him in an urn for you? Maybe a casket? We'll mail him to you. He's really, really small right now. We can put him in a FedEx envelope if you'd like. No, I'm sorry. He's coming back.
I just picture him walking into his apartment all mad, throwing his pants on the ground. His wife's like, "How's your day, honey?" "Well, I knelt in Pastor Moodley again." So I need new pants.
Oh my God. It just
2 years. That is disgusting.
Oh, you.
You can't, I don't even think you cremate him at that point in time. He's just pretty much soup. Like, here's your Tupperware for your husband.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good.
No.
Not good. By the way, we have a story here to follow up with that.
With Pastor Moodley? Is goo?
No. It has to do with Psychology Today had an article that came out. Has a loved one fallen into a dangerous cult? Here's how you know whether your loved one has fallen into a dangerous cult. Many people worry that the young are easily pulled into cults. They recruit from the wider population through love bombing and promising a new start. Kind of like if you die and you're not, you can be resurrected in 2 years. That might
Mrs. Bruiser is going to accidentally join a cult.
You think so?
Oh, I know. So she was so young when Waco happened.
Yeah.
And that was right around the time where my brain's formed. So I'm like, I was obsessed with it. So we watched like all these Waco documentaries. So she wanted to do like a deep dive on Koresh. So She watched his YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. And at one point in time, she pauses it and looks at me and goes, he's making a good point.
Oh, no. No.
No. And then we started watching Jones stuff. And she goes, he's not entirely wrong on some. I'm like, yeah, no, he is.
No, he was fully in the wrong. That's why we sent the government after him.
The joke that she's either going to accidentally join a cult or accidentally get murdered by a serial killer because she one day was leaving the store.
Oh, God.
And she was with our old roommate, and this little old lady asked her, "Hey, can you help me get my walker out of my van?" She's like, "Sure." She's like, it was a towel for her walker. She's like, "It's just right up there in the van." So Mrs. Bruiser reaches in. She can't reach it. So she puts one leg in the van. Can't. So she crawls in the van to reach it, comes out, hands it to her, walks away. And my roommate goes, "Yeah, that's not good."
No.
And she gets home, and the first thing he says to me is like, "Your wife's going to get killed by a serial killer." And he walks away. I'm like, "What?" So she told me what happened. I'm like, "Babe." She goes, "That's not a ruse." I go, "How do you think Ted Bundy got all of his victims?"
Yep. Jumping in the van. Good God.
Yeah, she's either going to accidentally join a cult or...
Mrs. Bruiser, what are you doing?
So this article's right.
I think so. Also, new recruits experience euphoria as being part of a chosen secretive group. She'll have the euphoria before they kill her.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll just briefly kind of browse over the article here. Psychology today is basically saying they're no longer simply religious extremist groups. Cults can also be a secular, identity-based, or political group that aim or claim to do good. The Jim Jones cult began as a movement that used Marxism and Christianity and provided homes for homeless black people in American inner cities. And yet Jonestown in Guyana in 1978 resulted in a suicide pact of 909 people.
Yep.
So they point to that as well. The Osho and I believe it's Aum Srinyoku cults that began both as Eastern religion alternatives to modern Western life. The Osho cult offered free love and then went on to commit the largest bioterrorist attack in American history in 1984. The Aum Shinriko cult committed the Japanese sarin gas attacks in the Tokyo subway, in which 13 people died and 5,800 were injured in that. Did these well-meaning movements go wrong, or was it the rot in the roots? There are startling connections between these very different cults, specific stages, and common to the life cycle of cults. There's common stages in the life cycle of a cult. They go like this. There's the big idea, first of all. There's that a leader or leaders propose a new transcendent type idea that promises a panacea solution for alienated and vulnerable people. This big idea promises to solve all your problems, to end loneliness, isolation, and a sense of personal failure. It makes vague promises of meaning and salvation. There's usually a charismatic leader or a single text with its own coded language that spreads the big idea. Then begins the love bombing, Bruiser. It's the, I love you, man.
Nobody but me loves you.
That's right. Cult leaders and early devotees recruit from the wider population through love bombing and promising a new start, a hope for a future of love, belonging, and a salvation within a living community of people who all believe in the big idea. Then you get a new life. New recruits are inducted into a secret language of signs and symbols. They're encouraged to identify as victims of the world outside and are promised a rebirth, a new body or identity within this life or an afterlife. Recruits are taught to see the world rather as black or white, good or evil, us or them. And this creates a tight group unity, which is enforced by rote learning of the cult slogans. These beliefs are often illogical as a test of true belief, and new recruits experience euphoria as part of a chosen secretive group. Then you have growth. As new recruits move into greater commitment, the cult enters the expansion phase and looks outward. The new task is to recruit ever more people. Love bombing and promising a new life are used on outsiders, and the young and needy are targeted. The cult expands rapidly with its promises of future rewards, be they spiritual, sexual, or political. Mantras and slogans replace all individual thought and offer collective oneness. Then there's rites of passages. You get allegiance, sworn through acts such as renouncing your own family, past life, and past name. New members are separated from all past support systems and become dependent on the cult. New members are tested by having to transform their identity, body, language, and even sexual behaviors. They must don the robes and declare to the world that I am no longer who I was. I am now part of Group X. You're isolated. The cult becomes too large to control and has to prevent influences from the outside world from weakening its power over members. The leaders ban acts of individual free will. The cult isolates its members from the world beyond, depicting the outside as corrupt, evil, and violent. This increases bonding as members see themselves as threatened victims. Language control and growing paranoia make questioning the cult impossible, and mantras and slogans silence doubts and dissent, and internal repression continues to grow. Then you have hate bonding. We go from love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
The cult reaches its size limit, and problems begin to arise from failures in its plan for all, but the cult cannot admit errors at this point. It starts to feed on hatred of the outside world. It evolves rituals of hatred, building a deep unity of the persecuted. One stratum of society is usually the target of all hatred, and they might be given a coded name. Members are encouraged to share their hatred in ritualized forms. And we get down to traitors in the group.
Oh, yeah.
You see how this
is where
works?
you get them banished and can't talk to them anymore and all that.
That's right. If you're afraid of the growing hate culture, some members question the leaders, but then they are thrown out or made to do penance. The contraction phase begins in the group and leads to a clampdown of any freedoms within the cult. In the face of internal persecution, a senior member often leaves and becomes a traitor. There's gaslighting, peer pressure, and groupthink, which prevents others from leaving. A few are helped to leave the cult by family members or forced out by cult deprogrammers, but such acts only fuel the cult's conviction that it is under attack. Then the witch hunts begin. Internal trials within the cult weed out all potential traitors. Doubters are shamed into falsely accusing others. The remaining members are forced into committing acts of personal supplication that might be sexual or involve body marking, self-mutilation, or a pledge to transgressive acts. Common test of belonging involves committing small crimes against the hated world beyond. And once a member commits an illegal act, the cult has evidence that it can be used to blackmail that member into compliance. This is abusive trauma bonding, and one of the last steps of the cult. There's persecution paranoia towards the end. As more people flee the cult, secrets are leaked to the outside world about the authoritarian rule of the leaders. External law forces investigation of the cult. The cult's paranoia grows. Increasingly paranoid, the cult weaponizes for a showdown against the world and sees violence as necessary, purifying force that will save itself from scheming enemies. All who commit acts of violence are pardoned in advance by the leader or leaders. Many cult members leave, and this increases paranoid fear of impending confrontation with external enemies. Finally, there's an attack, Bruiser.
Okay.
And what happens in that attack? Often a respected member of the cult is accused, tortured, or even killed, and the secret scapegoating becomes a new form of group cohesion. Cult members are forbidden to leave, and terror is whipped up about an imminent attack from external enemies, imagined or real. Allegiance to the cult is now proven by striking back against the outside world. After an attack, the collective fear of being destroyed by the external enemy takes over. And finally, this is how most of it ends, as we've seen on the news, as we've seen in media. There's a final conflict. So fearing destruction, the cult either attempts one final attack against the world or barricades itself up and enters into a state of siege. In the latter case, cult suicide pacts are common. The cult either destroys itself or lashes out against its often fantasized enemies. Either way, the cult collapses with violation of laws or loss of life. Once a person is inducted into the early stages of a cult, it is very hard to help them get back out again. Due to the emotional manipulations that cults employ and the vulnerabilities they exploit, no cult actually believes it's a cult. So early identification of cult behaviors in any religious movement, self-help group, identity group, or political movement is essential in helping recruits escape from their grasp. So those are the identifying marks of a cult and how to help a loved one when they've fallen into a dangerous cult. It's early and often. Get them when they're at that love bombing stage, when they feel like they're in that euphoric stage. Pull them out as soon as you can.
Yep, and they're leaving out the sleep deprivation and the hunger.
Yes,
because cults usually do that too.
Yeah, that's important as well to get them out.
Get them out immediately when you see something's going on and you start seeing that change.
Yeah, because once you've got them into that point where they're locked in, it's too late. It's really too late.
Either they feel there's the point of no return. Well, what's the point of leaving? I can't do anything because they're so reliant on the cult.
Yeah. Yep.
Or like the article said, you've committed a crime.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Let's turn our attention now to Mexico and curses.
Ooh, okay.
All right. There's a mummy exhibition in Mexico that may release a real mummy's curse.
Really? Okay. Well, King Tut's tomb released a curse, so
that's true. And there's a question there as to whether curses are real, and when we excavate certain things like mummies, are we really dealing with something bigger than us, and should we be messing with them in the first place?
No, we shouldn't.
The mummy's curse, or the curse of the pharaohs, is generally considered to be a myth and a great plot for horror movies set in Egypt or musty museums. But that hasn't lessened the belief in the power of a vengeful Egyptian spirit to bring doom upon these who disturb the remains of mummified humans in ancient tombs. While not as prevalent as a legend or a movie theme, mummies are found in other countries, such as Peru and Mexico. And they are said to cause problems for tomb robbers and legitimate archaeologists as well. An unusual group of mummies in Mexico is in the news this week. They are part of a traveling exhibit from the Museo de las Momias in, I believe it's Guanajuato. If you flunked high school Spanish, Museo de las Momias, it's Momias rather, means Museum of the Mummies. And this collection of natural mummies, more on that in a minute, has some mummy experts worried that people visiting a new exhibit of AI-generated images of what the mummified persons might have looked like when they were alive are in danger of becoming physically ill in the presence of the mummies. Is this a double curse? Mummies and AI? Oh, now we're getting into it. Now we're getting into the weeds.
That's how AI is going to take us over.
That's right. The Museo de las Momias in Guanajuato, I'll get it right eventually. My 9th grade Spanish is kicking in. Guanajuato is one of the most unusual museums in the world. Guanajuato is an ancient Aztec city, but the contents of the museum are relatively modern. In 1861, the Santa Paulo Municipal Pantheon Cemetery was built on the edge of town, and the deceased began to be buried there. At the time and up until the late 1950s, the families of the deceased buried in the municipal pantheon were required to pay an annual fee to keep their bodies in the crypts. If the fees were not paid, the relatives were forced to move the remains elsewhere. If they didn't, the management of the municipal pantheon exhumed the remains for them. Now that's creepy.
Just leave them on the curb or what?
Yeah, you can come pick them up. Your layaway is over. One of these after-death evictions happened in 1865 to a French doctor of the name of Rémi Leroy, I believe. The exhumers were shocked, although not deterred, when they discovered that Rémi Leroy's body had been naturally mummified. Ooh. It turns out the altitude, an average of 6,611 feet or 2,015 kilometers, high temperatures, wooden coffins as well, which absorb moistures, and the sealed cement crypts contribute to some corpses becoming accidental mummies.
Okay.
All right.
Just the perfect storm.
Yeah. Another key factor is that the fertile volcanic soil of Guanajuato leaks minerals into the water supply, which contributed to dehydrating the bodies. After Rémi Leroy, accidental mummies were found regularly at the municipal pantheon. Out of respect, the cemetery kept these mummified corpses in an underground ossuary underneath the cemetery grounds in case the relatives came back with the sufficient fee to rebury their family member. Also, they were somewhat nice about it. They didn't put it out on the curb.
Yeah. They're like, we'll hang on to it till you pay.
They put it in the ossuary, so that's fine. Because they were naturally mummified, the mummies are stronger and more frightening than Egyptian mummies, which were preserved by a team of professional funeral workers. The combination of gruesome looks and growing number of mummies, often just propped up against the walls, turned the ossuary into a local attraction. And the pantheon...
just put Pedro over there next to Jose. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And the pantheon management eventually began calling it a museum. Unfortunately, it had a Ripley's Believe It or Not quality with displays of a pregnant mummy, shrunken child mummies, and the world's smallest mummy. Wow.
They stumbled onto something there. They're like, hey, if we can't get the money from the people, we can get the money from somebody else.
If we can't get it from the people, we'll get it from the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. That sounds like a Cheech and Chong deal. Hey, man, if we can't get the money from the people, we'll get it from the people. Which the world's smallest mummy, which was the size of a loaf of bread. Oh, it's the cutest little mummy ever.
Yeah, look at that little guy.
Yeah. The feature image is at the top of the article, which you can't see because it's a podcast. The museum also has its share of myths and superstitions. Many locals believe the accidental mummification is a punishment for something that the person did while alive.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Rather than science,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of being alive, that is the attraction of the new exhibit, which has caused the concern about the mummy's curse. Interesting. El Geraldo de Mexico. De Mexico. Okay, El Geraldo de Mexico. I'll do it.
We have El Geraldo de Americana.
That's true, yeah.
He had a show for a while, broke his nose.
He did, and he got El Stool de Throw right at his face.
Exactly.
Yeah. Reports that artist Christian Quintero, fed photos of some of the accidental mummies, including one of Remio Leroy, into an artificial intelligence image generator, bad idea, along with information about the time period in which the person lived, their age when they died, and any other information that could be or help generate an accurate image of how they may have looked just before they died. Quintero posted images on his Twitter feed, and El Geraldo de Mexico has more of what will eventually be an exhibit of 15 recreations of accidental mummies and traveling exhibit sponsored by the Museum of the Mummies, an exhibit that will also include a number of mummies. The National Institute of Anthropology and History is not pleased with this for a number of reasons. So he's doing recreations to show you what they looked like before and after.
Yeah.
First, the museum apparently did not get authorization or advice for handling and transfer, as well as environmental conditions during the stay at the
What do you mean?
fairgrounds.
Just placing them up against the wall is not the proper way of handling them?
I guess not. No, Bruiser. You just don't go shuffling mummies across the country.
I don't just put them up next to my snowboard in the wintertime?
No. They're not for general storage. I guess you have to preserve them somewhat. Yeah, they're not ski boots. Go figure. So the fairgrounds is at the location of the 47 tourist Tianguis 2023, which is a major tourism and business forum for promoting tourism in Mexico. This lack of permission, plus the photos, made them concerned about the spread of a real mummy's curse. So they believe there's a curse following these mummies.
Yeah, they're like, hey, if you publicize this, people that come see it are going to die.
Yeah. The INAH is concerned that the mobile displays will not meet biosafety conditions for public display and could pose a danger to visitors as well as the museum and fair personnel assigned to them. The organization washed its hands of the deadly fungal pathogens, saying INAH disclaims any damage caused by the bodies during their transfer, handling, and exhibition, as well as the damage that possible pathogens may cause due to a lack of control in the minimum care essential for his exposure.
Just use more bubble wrap. You'll be fine.
Ooh, this thing's creepy. I'm going to show you a picture of this in a second here, Bruiser. Unlike the mummies of Egypt, which were treated with substances meant to stop decay and destroy any bacteria or fungus or other things which could cause it, the mummies of the museum, mummified naturally, have not been treated. So Merry Christmas and welcome to fungi and bacteria.
Wait, bubble wrap doesn't prevent that?
No. The Museo de las Momias is not known for sealed displays, according to the Daily Mail, that the more than 100 dried human cadavers there are behind flimsy glass cabinets and is more interested in the unusual histories of some of them, the murder victims, criminals who were buried alive, and infants dressed up as saints to help them get to heaven. In a sense, the AI-generated images of them when alive would be a safe alternative to people pressing their noses up against the flimsy glass cabinets and risking inhaling a fungus that could curse them to respiratory illness or death.
Hey, man, we got all these mummies. Go to IKEA. Get us a glass case.
Yeah, not exactly sanitary. If you want to
use Windex to clean it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'll solve everything. Yeah.
Yeah. They Febreze and Lysol. Yeah. And they have hand sanitizer at the entrance and exit.
Oh, sure. Well, that'll do it. If you want to take the risk, the Museo de las Momias in Guanajuato is open 7 days a week.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Because why not infect people every single day of the week?
So you can expose yourself whenever you wish. So there you go. Press your lips up against this, Bruiser.
Oh, God.
Isn't that something?
The scariest thing is they still have eyelashes, but no eyeballs.
That's right. Those suckers, they decomposed long ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's that. We're getting to the end of the program here, Bruiser. And it's time for us to go from unappetizing mummies to look at to something appetizing for your belly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Are you ready for this, Bruiser? If I said to you, I've got a culinary delight for us to cook up today, what type of meat do you think I'd grab from the freezer?
Oh, I think you're going to grab ground beef or Italian sausage.
Oh, yeah, those are good. Mm-hmm.
Maybe some venison.
Maybe.
Venison meatballs are good.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah.
Elk.
Elk. Yeah, that might be a nice delicacy. How about I go to the freezer and get you a giant mammoth meatball? We could throw it some spaghetti.
Spicy meatball.
We could go and get some spaghetti for it. I could get some ragu or some Prego and just cook it on up for you, and we could split the meatball. What do you say?
So these aren't going to be on the Olive Garden menu, is what you're saying?
Hey, when you're there, your family. I would think maybe you could order it up on their menu. A giant meatball of an extinct mammoth was unveiled in the Netherlands. And at that point, the IKEA store said, nope, we'll just take the regular horse meatballs for $800, Alex. We won't bother with the mammoth. A giant meatball made from the flesh cultivated from using the DNA of an extinct woolly mammoth was unveiled last week at Nemo, which is a science museum in the Netherlands.
That's where you lost me, is where it was created from DNA. Like, it's not an actual, they had it on the mammoth on ice.
Oh no, it is woolly mammoth meatball.
Right, it's the DNA that they grew essentially.
Yeah. It was curated from DNA from a woolly mammoth.
So it's like the Impossible Burger.
No. It is a woolly mammoth meatball.
Okay.
It'd be like if I scraped the cells off a Bruiser and I made a meatball out of Bruiser. It's a Bruiser meatball. It was curated from Bruiser.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So wait.
You're still eating human flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The meatball was created by Australian cultured meat company Vow. I don't know what you're vowing to do. You're vowing to make me throw up right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which, promising this was not an April Fool's joke, said it wanted to get people talking about cultured meat, calling it a more sustainable alternative for real meat.
Oh, God, no. That's what said about tofu.
Yeah, tofu's not meat.
And soy, look what that got us.
Yeah, it got you throwing up is what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to get a bunch of people writing in saying, I love tofu. Tofu's great.
Vegans, yeah.
I love tofu burgers and dogs. We wanted to create something that was totally different from anything you can get now, Vow founder Tim Noakesmith told Reuters, adding that an additional reason for choosing mammoth is that scientists believe that the animal's extinction was caused by climate change. Maybe it was just their time to go.
Yeah, maybe they're just done.
And maybe your stomach can't handle mammoth.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We're not built the same as our ancestors.
That's right. The meatball was made of sheep cells inserted with a singular mammoth gene called myoglobin. Myoglobin. When it comes to meat, myoglobin is responsible for the aroma, the color, and the taste, James Riel, Vow's chief science officer, explained.
So I can, next time I have a steak, this is some good myoglobin.
Myoglobin. Ew, I would say. Ew. So, first of all, it's not truly a mammoth meatball. It's a sheep mammoth.
So it's like a gyro.
It is. It's like gyro meat. Yeah. It's
gyro. I love gyro meat, so maybe I'll like this.
Maybe. Since the mammoth's DNA sequence obtained by Vow had a few gaps, African elephant DNA was inserted to complete it. So it's not a true mammoth meatball.
No.
It's a mammoth elephant sheep meatball.
Yeah, the hybrid.
Yeah. Much like they do in the movie Jurassic Park. Wrong reference there, buddy. Riel said, stressing the biggest difference is that they were not creating actual animals. Oh, well, 6 of one.
Kind of are.
6 of one, half dozen of another. While creating cultured meat usually means using blood of a dead calf, Vow used an alternative, meaning no animals were killed in the making of the mammoth meatball.
Minus the mammoth.
And the sheep. And
the sheep and the African elephant.
You're right. The meatball, which has the aroma of crocodile meat. You're not winning me over right now.
Crocodile's good. dry, but it's good.
Yeah. Is currently not for consumption. So why do we make it?
So why do you make it?
Oh, just because I could?
You know why it's not for consumption? Because the scientists created it when I dare you to take a bite. And the other one went, no, I dare you to take a bite. And they just did that for the next hour, trying to challenge each other. And neither one of them took a bite.
I bet you one did, but he was sick for 4 days.
He turned into a mammoth.
He did. Its protein is literally 4,000 years old, Noakesmith went on to say. We haven't seen it in a very long time. That means we want to put it through rigorous tests, something that we would do with any product we bring to market. I would hope you would test this.
They want to make sure none of us get the diarrhea shits from it.
Right. Vow hopes to put cultured meat on the map in the European Union, a market where such meat as food is not regulated yet. You can keep it over in the European Union.
Yeah, keep it.
It's all yours. You can have every last bite of it. I'll let you. The things they eat over in Europe.
You think HelloFresh is going to have that on their menu anytime soon?
I don't know. I got a new box coming this week. So
we just got ours yesterday. We're having it tonight. So
yeah. No, they have much better food at HelloFresh.
Oh, I know that.
Than the mammoth meatball. Although if they threw some couscous in with it, I might eat it.
I tell you what, hearing the mammoth meatball makes me want to pull a Fred Flintstone, though, put it on top of my car and see if my car flips over.
Oh, maybe. Our buddy Tom sent us a food item, so I figured I'd throw it in with the mammoth meatball because it sounds just as gross. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Here's the other culinary challenge that will make your stomach roll. We're going to Louisville. I say Louisville.
Oh, good old Louisville.
Not Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Louisville. We're going to Louisville.
Kentucky.
Louisville. Not Louisville.
Louisville.
Not Louisville. There is no King Louisville. It's King.
You ask people from Louisville, they tell you it's Louisville. Yeah, let's go what they say.
They have lazy tongues. Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Okay.
A Louisville man.
Louisville man. All right.
Louisville man. What's the, did you have a stroke? Do I need to call? Is Mrs. Bruiser in the house? Can I yell at her to get you checked?
She says it the same way I do. She loves it.
You both have had strokes.
And she also loves how you get all riled up about it.
It's Louisville. There was no King Louis. King Louis.
King Louis the First. King Louis the Fourth.
Not King Louis.
It's a Louisville slugger.
It's a Louisville slugger. Even
Louisville slugger.
Go to the factory. They'll say Louisville. Louisville slugger.
I've gone to the town and they tell me it's Louisville. I've wrestled there.
Yeah, they don't know. Ask any journalist worth their salt, and they'll say Louisville.
Louisville.
They won't say
Louisville.
Let me read this story.
Okay.
Louisville.
From Louisville, Kentucky.
And don't interrupt me with it. It's Louisville.
It's Louisville. I got you. I'm just making sure our listeners get both pronunciations.
They shouldn't. You don't teach a kid to stick their hand on a stove. You shouldn't teach them to say Louisville. It's Louisville. You don't say King George was King Georg.
True, but you do go to Louisville, Kentucky.
You go to Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
No, Louisville.
I love that this is the end of the program. You're so worked up. I love that this gets you so worked up.
It's French. It's Louis. Louis. King Louis.
Louis.
King Louis.
How do we know it was named after him and not somebody that just had dental surgery?
How do you pronounce this mustard? Gray?
Poupon.
Not poopin'. You don't say it's gray poopin', do you?
Poupon.
Right.
Gray poupon.
Okay, so it's...
Louisville.
No, it's not Louisville. It's Louisville.
Louisville, yes. I know.
It should be Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Because it's French. Nobody says it right in America. It should be Louisville.
Louisville.
But it's not.
Oh, it's Louisville.
So everyone's uncultured. That's what. Jim Cornette was right to go off on Louisville, Kentucky when he cut all those promos.
I don't think Tom was expecting this banter back and forth when he sent us this article.
Let me read this story. Thank you, by the way, Tom, for sending this story and getting me all riled up. A man in Kentucky, I'll put it that way, wins the Derby Burger Challenge with his creation called the Goat. Tom probably knew what he was doing when he sent this story.
Yeah.
We go to Kentucky. I'm not going to say the name of the town because they're all don't know how to pronounce it. The 2023 Kentucky Derby Festival Derby Burger was unveiled. And it may be, they call it the greatest burger ever. Again, showing they have no taste. At least that's what the cook is saying of this burger. Are you ready for this? This is what the burger has on it, Bruiser.
Yeah, I'm ready.
First of all, it has a fig spread on it.
Ugh, who eats figs?
I'll eat fig Newtons, but not.
No, my kids love fig Newtons, and disgusting.
First of all, it's got a fig spread with goat cheese and a hot honey mix on a Kentucky Cattleman's ground beef patty.
That sounds good.
No,
the only thing that sounds good is the ground beef patty.
The ground beef patty. Okay, you got a good start, good foundation. You screwed it up with the hot honey mix, the goat cheese, and the fig spread.
Yes, exactly.
I wouldn't give that to.
I wouldn't give it to my dogs.
Right. I wouldn't give it to Bruiser's dogs. Cook Brian Capps, who evidently must not have taste buds on his tongue, calls his masterpiece the GOAT, G-O-A-T. It stands for greatest of all time, says Capps. He must again not have taste buds.
Yeah, I disagree.
Capps was named the winner of the 11th annual Derby Burger Challenge after a mini cookout between the top 4 contestants in the Middletown Kroger. They held it in the grocery store, evidently. Yep. Yeah.
And you're yelling at them because they don't pronounce it right.
And they don't. The competition is put on by the Kentucky Beef Council, and it got underway back in February. Again, probably took them that long to cook the burger. KBC leaders said more than 40 cooks from all ends of the state submitted their recipes to the KBC. From there, the KBC narrowed it down to 8, which was extremely difficult.
Really difficult? This burger sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you don't need that much stuff on a burger.
No. An all-American cheeseburger is just fine that you get from a backyard barbecue.
That's right. If you really want to just doctor it up a little bit, maybe a little bit of Colby Jack cheese.
Oh, yes.
Put some Colby Jack on it.
Some mayo, some ketchup, some mustard, and some lettuce.
There you go.
Boom.
Maybe a little bit of tomato. I don't know.
I don't like tomato, but I'll take some red onion.
Okay, yeah, red onion. Yeah. There you go.
Boom. There we go.
There you go. Bingo. You got it. Right there.
Yep.
You're good. Yeah. But no. They had to narrow it down to 8. They said it was extremely difficult. They were looking for something that was creative. Something was easy to make, though. That's not
easy because we got to get figs and goat milk. Where are you going to get figs and goat milk?
Greece. That's where you got to go. Although they probably pronounce it Grace down there. But and something that really showcased the beef, they said. Really?
No, it doesn't showcase the beef at all.
Big spread and
put a little bit of salt and pepper on it. Yeah. You're good.
After they narrowed it down, they left it up. They left it up to those across the state to vote. Oh, that's your problem. Their choices were Capps with the goat, Ira Moman of that city that I won't say the name of anymore, with the 80-20 gourmet lavender burger. Lavender?
So you're going to get tired eating it? Why would you eat lavender?
Lavender burger?
Ugh.
Daniel Dunn of Union with the bourbon bacon jam burger.
That sounds good.
That does sound good. With spicy sauce. And Melissa Thompson of Bradenburg with the Ma's chili slaw burger.
That sounds good too.
What is it with people in the South putting slaw on everything?
In North Carolina, it's on chili and slaw are on everything.
Really?
Everything. Yeah, I had to get used to that. But I've had it, and on burgers, it's good. Not on hot dogs.
KBC leaders said more than 20,000 Kentuckians voted for their favorite, which are the most votes in competition history.
Well, they voted wrong.
Yeah, they did.
There's 2 burgers on there that should have won.
Yeah, they can't name their cities and they can't pick a burger. It should be noted, though, that Capps knew exactly how to win the competition back in 2021. Listen to this. Back in 2021, he won with this burger. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You want to talk about not having taste? Here we go. A blueberry bacon and brie cheeseburger.
Oh, good. Yuck.
Talk about garbage.
Yeah. You don't put fruit. Well, tomatoes are fruit, but you don't put like blueberries on a burger.
That would smell like garbage.
You don't put brie on a burger either. Brie's fine by itself.
Yeah. That's horrible.
Ugh. Yeah.
Cap's prizes include a $100 gift certificate to Kroger, where he should make up a decent burger. A grilling prize pack, including a grill from the Kentucky Beef Council and a year's supply of Dano's seasoning, so he can finally make a decent burger.
What a crappy prize. You can get the same prize from a radio call-in.
For him, however, he says the real prize is seeing others enjoy his creation. He's laughing all the way to the bank. He's like,
yeah, he's laughing while everyone vomits out his goat cheese, fig, hot honey bullshit.
His hot honey bullshit fig burger. Yeah. Oh, God. They're actually making this burger at Kroger's Festaville during the 9 days.
Kroger's around here.
Yeah, during the 9 days leading up to Derby Day. Ew. Yeah, ew. Just ew.
Could have been creative, at least make it out of horse. It's for Derby days. Come on.
Make it out of horse. What you do is you hold the burger up and just say, if you come in last, this is going to be you.
The winner gets this huge prize. Last place becomes a burger. There you go. Make the horses run faster.
Oh, God.
Horse is delicious, by the way.
Yeah. That's it for Supernatural News today. See, we ended it on a dead note. A horse that comes in last in the Derby becomes one of these shitty burgers.
Yep.
That's it. Bruiser, where are you going to be?
I'm going to Junction City, Kansas.
Where they know how to make a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, on Saturday you're going to be there?
I'll be there on Saturday, yep. Going to be for TAPW, Traditional American Pro Wrestling, and I am defending my American Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, there you go. Who are you wrestling?
A guy named Brian Blade, who I won the belt from, and I've had a couple matches with him. So this is
really,
yeah, I think this is our fourth time locking horns. So Junction City's fun town, very fun.
Fourth time locking up, but any gimmicks in this deal, or you know?
I think they're gonna probably throw something in there. I don't know, because there's a lot of kids there. So
okay.
I'm sure they don't want to make it too crazy.
So it's not like a slap blade with a kid match or anything like that? You don't
no.
Grab a kid out of the audience and hit him with it?
The building we're in, though, is for your history buffs out there, is where guys cut their teeth, like Harley Race and Ric Flair and Andre the Giant.
Nice.
Which I love wrestling in buildings where our forefathers came.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm staying in the same place these guys did.
Yeah. That's really cool. Cool. This weekend I'll be up at KNSI. Yep. So I'll be spinning on the ones and twos. No, I'll just be doing news and stuff. Sports and weather. You'll be able to hear me doing sports and weather from 7 to 9 Central Time Saturday.
I'll be on Central Time. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. You'll be on Central Time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just sports and weather and more from your buddy. That's all on Saturday morning. So that's what's going on. Tomorrow on tomorrow's Darkness Radio, Bruiser.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for this? You know, Thursday, the brand new season of Ghost Hunters.
Oh yeah, it debuts
on Travel Channel and on Discovery Plus. We have Steve Gonzalez from Ghost Hunters.
Oh, I love Steve.
So to ring in the new season, he'll sit with us. He'll talk to us about the very first episode on the debut episode on Travel Channel. And by the way, Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead guest stars on the first episode. So
you'll have to tell Steve that I got into paranormal investigating because of him. Really?
I will.
Yeah, like I know it was all about Jason and Grant when the show first started, but it just something about Steve. It was probably his cool tattoos that he's got. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I was like, hey, I want to do this. So please tell him thank you for changing my life.
I will. And if you would, he has a brand new book out there too.
I've got his other book. So
yeah. So he's got a brand new book out there. It's a new biography. So we'll talk to him about that as well. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a combo platter tomorrow on the program. So We'll talk the new season of Ghost Hunters. We'll talk maybe a little bit about the previous season, and we'll talk about the upcoming season. And we'll also talk to him a little bit about his book and what inspired him to write his book. So that's all tomorrow. Steve Gonzalez on Darkness Radio.
Yeah, and hopefully people tune in because this is going to be a great interview. I mean, maybe he'll shed light why he doesn't fly.
We can ask him that. I would do that for you.
That always blew my mind when watching the show. He never flies.
Yep. So we'll get that insight as well tomorrow.
Cool.
And maybe we'll get some of his deepest fears.
Ooh.
But yeah,
probably burgers with goat cheese and fig on them.
Yeah, it is. That's probably number one. Yeah. What do you think of this? What do you think of this Kentucky burger? That's scary, isn't it? But yeah, that'll come up tomorrow. So excited for tomorrow's show. It's been a good week on Darkness Radio here. I want to thank George Jarrett for being on True Crime Tuesday. I can get that out. Yeah. But yeah, we had a good time with him as well. For Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for tuning into Supernatural News. We will see you tomorrow with Steve Gonzalez right here on the best in paranormal programming. This has been Darkness Radio.